The most common conversations that I had with men who were in their 50s and 60s and 70s that were nursing home bound due to illness, these same men, not a soul would come and visit them. And I worked with nurses who didn't understand that. I understood it perfectly. One of the things they talked about is the one that got away. That one woman they should have treated kindly, they should have taken care of. The one woman that they shouldn't have dogged out, the one that got away. They sit in the nursing home or lay in the nursing home, and part of their bodies don't work. They can't walk anymore. They can barely speak where you understand them. The one that got away. Another thing they talk about is, if I knew I was gonna live this long, I would have took better care of myself. If I knew I was going to live this long, I would have took better care of myself. I think the better statement would have been, if I known I was going to have a stroke or a heart attack or uncontrolled diabetes and end up in a nursing home, unable to walk around, speak, wipe my own butt, not pee on myself, not poop on myself, I would have taken better care of myself. Another thing that was really troubling was these men would try to remember who their children were. They would try to remember how many children that they had. They would try to remember children that people said that they were the father of and they never claimed. So these are all men who was worried about their self, their wild ways, their drinking, their marijuana use, their drug use, their cocaine use, their partying, womanizing, being player number 9. They're in the nursing home, 50 plus, immobile, disabled, they have aphasia. No one comes and visits them. No one calls them. No one sends them cards. And I know exactly why. You dogged them out. You don't even know who your own children are. You let them get away. Look forward to spending the rest of your life by yourself, lonely, hoping that the next nurse or nurse's aide stops by your bed and holds a little bit of conversation with you as they're wiping your behind or the slobber off of your face.
You know, I'm not in a nursing home currently, but you can wipe the slobber off of my face, and you can definitely wipe my ass. You know, with your lips. All right, you can definitely do that shit. And furthermore, though, maybe in the future you can hold up whatever you know, your notes or whatever. You know, maybe you can post those. You know, put those in the video so we can read along, so that we can forego the monotone delivery and shit, the unemotional delivery. And it's not because you're that way, it's because you sat down and you thought about the most hurtful things that you could write to men. Okay? It's none of your business why these men are in a nursing home. Shit, it's your job to do your duties, perform your duties, okay, at an optimum level and shit, which I doubt you were capable of, okay? And I doubt that anyone was talking, all right? Especially after initially hearing your bland delivery, all right? Yeah, I feel a certain way. I really do. I feel a certain way about this bullshit, okay? The shaming, the gaslighting, and the spiritual and mental attacks never stop and shit. It's who they are, okay? On a genetic level at this point, all right? I don't even, it's been so long and shit. Some weak-willed Negroes, some weak-willed males will, just discount the whole social engineering thing altogether, all right? It's none of your business why any of those patients are in there. You're a very sorry excuse for a medical aid practitioner, all right? You probably got in it just for the money, right? A lot of you get in it just for the money. A lot of you yourselves live very messy lifestyles, all right? I know, trust me, I know your profession is populated with a lot of people of your gender that live extremely messy and wasteful lifestyles, and they still end up on a hook for monthly bills and the mortgage and the house note and shit and the water bill, you know. And then you want somebody to come in and save your ass and shit and take abuse from you on an emotional level, especially a spiritual one as well. And if you can wing it, you'll even get physical. Right? You don't talk like a practitioner. Florence Nightingale is dead. Right? You're more akin to that woman that was helping those cracker ass doctors during the Tuskegee experiments, I would suspect. Alright? You're akin to that nurse who was never brought to justice. Why are you in this profession? Why are you in this profession? And when I think that your record should be reviewed and shit. Because you seem to be there just to watch men die. Okay? Why are you so interested in that? And these men, these black men and whatnot. And how dare you generalize all of these men as former criminals and former drug addicts and former abusers and whatnot. There's many reasons why these men have the issues that they do and shit. A lot of them are veterans. They don't have any family. Some of them do have drug addiction problems and shit because they were in fucking war protecting the goddamn country and shit. And if they were criminals and shit, I would say it's more likely that the criminal minded, we call them Pookie and Tyrone, they're more likely to have you and your sisterhood taking care of them in perpetuity, happily wiping and cleaning their buttholes, because you value, flawed things and whatnot. You guys don't look for peers and whatnot. You look for flawed, immature, males. All right, because you need to be superior. You need to be the smartest one in the room and shit. You can't do that with somebody with a standard rudimentary intelligence and common sense. It makes you want to lash out, like you're doing now in this video. All right, I think you're a fucking disgrace, to be quite honest. All right, I think you're a fucking disgrace to your profession and shit. That you're just there for a bag. You don't care about these people. You don't care about helping anyone and shit. I myself am very familiar with nurses, right? And I can tell a shitty nurse when I listen to them talk and shit. They don't talk about their patients or what goes on at their job and shit. They're pretty much there for the bag, okay? They see those people as just meat sacks. The hospital becomes up and akin to an auto body shop. And, I don't begrudge any of that shit. But, you have some decorum and shit. But here you are on social media in front of the planet and shit. Telling everyone just how much of an insensitive asshat you are. Alright? I don't want to call you a bitch, but that's too light. Shit. I don't have an insult for you because you really don't have a personality and shit. And I want to reiterate that the next time you make one of these videos, can you just let us see the cue card or whatever you written down on your in a Mead notebook or whatever you have typed there and shit? Can you put that so we can just read along and shit? It was very hard to follow you. Okay, very hard to follow you. You need to maybe take some acting lessons so that you can emote better, so that you can pretend like you have a soul.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck, 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 fuck.